Shawn-Marie quite contrary. How does your garden grow? Why, in containers, of course.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be how I spent my entire weekend getting my container beds ready for the 2023 season. We are going to plant some seeds. We are going to get the beds cleaned out. I am going to show you one of the greatest seed starting hacks of all times. And we're going to be expanding our container beds in one of the most ingenious ways ever. So be sure to stick around and take all of this in. I had my strawberries growing in the raised bed last year, but this year I want to take them out and I want to actually get them into some strawberry towers that I have using the triple pots you can get from the Dollar Tree. That stack, my husband's going to reinforce them down the middle, and I am going to take these gorgeous little plants out and give them their own structure to grow in because I have plans for this big bed. I am going to be utilizing literally every square inch of my garden to full capacity this year without taking up too much more of a square foot pattern because I don't really have the footprint to use. But I'm going to show you how easy it is to have an amazing container garden. But first, let's get these little guys where they need to go. Now, while these pots are a very affordable option for the Dollar Tree for container growing as well as towers, they're very, very cheap, and you need to drill drainage holes in the bottom of them to allow drainage to occur. If you have container gardens and it doesn't have proper drainage, you're literally going to swamp the plant right out, and it's not good. So you have to drill holes. But like I said, these are not top quality. They're $1.25 each, which is a great value. So when you're drilling them, you don't want to push too hard because you can actually crack them as I just did on one. No big deal if you do, still totally usable. But let the drill do the work. Let the drill go in at its own pace. They're not thick. It only takes a second. And trust me, it'll be so much easier on you when you do that because you will not be cracking them and irritating yourself. Just let the drill do the work. First things first, I'm going to add a layer of last year's straw from the container beds, which is nutrient rich and beneficial. Next, add a good layer of soil, and I like to make sure you actually use a very good quality soil. The soil makes all the difference. You have to have a great foundation to start with in order to have an amazing crop. And that's just my theory on it. Now I'm just going to transplant them into the towers. I want to make sure the root is in there good and snug and cover them up nicely with a nice layer of soil. You also want to make sure that once you have it all done, you definitely give them a good watering and continue to give them a good watering so that the roots will take in their new location. And these strawberry towers are going to be absolutely fabulous. I should get a good yield and I'm not taking up much square footage at all. Now I need to get all of the straw that I had in the beds out, and that is nutrient rich right there. So that will be going into my compost pile for sure, but I will also be leaving some in the containers, and I am going to be tilling that and turning it right into the dirt because that is all beneficial for my container gardens, and I don't want to lose any of those nutrients. Now I'm just going to use my handheld cultivation fork. I'm going to really dig down deep and turn this soil. That is a super important step with your container gardens. You want to make sure that that soil is turned and those nutrients are evenly distributed. That's what's going to give you some gorgeous plants. So both beds have been turned, and I thought I had my camera on and recording, but I didn't. I actually got my onions planted right next to my garlic. I still left room so I can put my cucumbers there and they can trellis over that wire. And I also left space at the end. That's where my scallions will go. So this bed is planned out for the 2023 season. It is done. Now, this bed is also all cleaned out. The soil's been turned completely. It's ready to go. But I am going to save this bed for jalapenos. That is all that's going to go in here with the exception of a row of cucumbers against the trellis you can see right there. But other than that, this entire bed is going to be jalapenos.
I am super happy with the progress of those two raised beds. They are all cleaned out. The soil is tilled. It's good to go. We have our herbs to still plant. What a beautiful day it is. for this type of work. Do you have your garden started? When did you start your seeds? I'm always late to the party. I am literally always late, but they'll grow. They'll grow. So we're getting it going now. What are your go-to garden must-haves? What are the things that you absolutely need to have planted and growing in your garden? For me, it is tomatoes, it is cucumbers, potatoes, and this year is going to be the year of the jalapeno. I am going to grow a ton because I use them so much in all different recipes, and we love cowboy candy in this house. Oh, love, love, love. And to be able to make cowboy candy from jalapenos I grew, hello, yes please. So our beds are all clean behind us. Let's go get some lunch and we'll come back at it. If Holly Golightly was a gardener, this is what she would look like, Pradas and all. So I put some thought into this. Last year was my first year growing a garden with my 2 container gardens and utilizing other containers to grow things in, like tomatoes and asparagus and whatnot. And after successfully growing what I grew, I had the whole winter to actually think about intentionally using the limited space that I have and what can I do with containers. And I actually came up with a fabulous idea that I am going to be doing right onto my container beds, expanding them, and it's ingenious. So check this out. Okay, so I had tomatoes sitting at the ends of my beds last year, and that's not where they're going to go this year. They're going to be moved. Instead, I'm going to use this to grow more. Okay, so I'm like crouching down here to get in the picture. I went to Job Lot and I got some sturdy 30-inch window boxes that are actually going to fit perfectly right on the ends. And for stability, I'm going to actually be using these decorative plant hangers that they had. Very, very heavy duty, $4 a piece. I'll attach them like so. The box fits perfectly in there. And I'm actually going to drill through this so I can zip tie the box to this. Super easy, trust me.
To start this project off, we're just going to add some drainage holes to the bottom of the window boxes because it didn't come with any, and proper drainage is vital to container gardening. I took the measurements and I know exactly where I want them, so now I am going to secure the brackets to the end of the container gardens, and I'm going to use 2-inch screws. I want them to get in there good and hold it securely because these boxes are going to be heavy with soil. I love it. Now I just need to secure them with zip ties. I'm going to drill for the spots for the holes with the box in place so that way I can be sure to get it around the bracket and secure it. I took out last year's straw from the asparagus bed and look, I already have some little asparagus coming up. I have a lot more room in this pot, so I think I'm going to add some more to it this year. I know they won't harvest at the same time, but I definitely want to utilize this to the max, and I love asparagus.
And one thing I want to do is I bought some herbs. I want to get them in the ground. I don't seed start my herbs. I like to have them ready to go. I can use these tonight to cook if I want. We just have some sage, some rosemary, and some parsley. And I'm going to clean out my herb box from last year, and we're going to get these in there. Okay, we dump it all out. We're going to start with fresh. This has drain holes already. Put soil in there.
I'm also going to add a little bit of last year's straw to these containers as well. The benefits outweigh anything else, so I want to make sure I get that in there. And then I'm just going to arrange my herbs. Now, while Scott was out, he actually came back and surprised me with 2 more herbs, so I was able to get another tower together, and he brought me back some thyme and chives to add to the herbs I'm planting today, which are parsley, sage, and rosemary. And I just love having fresh herbs to cook with. My herb garden is back and my heart is super happy. I love having fresh herbs right outside of my door that I can just go right out there, snip off, and cook with. There is nothing in the world like cooking with fresh herbs, and you don't need any space whatsoever. You can literally grow an herb garden on your counter. Everybody needs an herb garden in their home, especially you.
The chicken-proof things around here. Now, Betty, you will not get my strawberries, girlfriend. No, ma'am, you won't. Do you have chickens? Do you have to lift your stuff out of the way? Hello, my Marjorie. Yes, you mommy's baby. Yes, you are. Yes, you are so babies. Yes, you are so cute. Yes, you are. Just a good girl. Yes, you is. Say hello to Miss Marjorie. Give us a like and say hello. Hi, baby. She loves to be outside with Mama helping, huh? Yes. So I grabbed this hook from Hobby Lobby. It was like 49 cents about 2 years ago. And it's just been sitting there and it has never had a purpose. And its purpose is now going to be to hold my watering can on the side of my bed. I knew it had a purpose. You just have to wait and see, and sometimes the purpose reveals itself. And this is a perfect purpose for this. The best 49 cents I've ever spent. Have you ever gotten a sweet deal like this and just hung on to it for no particular reason at all? And then all of a sudden one day you're just like, oh, I'm going to use that. Let me know down below.
Perfect. I love it. All right, I guess we are on to the seeds now. I am just using a regular old bamboo shish kebab skewer. They make the best holes, and I am just using one of those pre-made plastic greenhouses, if you will, that you can get at Lowe's. They're like $7 each, I think, not counting the soil. And I had these left over from last year, so I'm going to put them to good use this year. Now, this entire tray is going to be tray of jalapeno. This will go into that first bed, like I had said. I am hoping to get a ton from it. And I am sure I am putting way too many seeds in each of these holes, but I guess that ensures that I should get something out of it, right?
It's hard to see my face, but you know, the sun is too much. And at this point in time, I have hat head, so the hat stays. But the last thing I want to show you is my potatoes. Now, my potatoes are going to grow in these laundry baskets. These I picked up at Dollar General. They were like $10 a piece, I think. And this is perfect for growing potatoes. Now, I also picked out some landscape fabric. This was also at Dollar General. It was $7. And what I'm going to do is line the baskets, line it this way, and then we're going to line it front to back. That will keep the soil in all of these holes, but it will allow, you know, drainage and irrigation to come through. The air will get to the soil. And I am also going to add some holes to the bottom, just using my drill. Just some holes, so that'll also add some nice drainage.
I'm just going to line the inside of the laundry basket with a piece of this landscaping fabric. I specifically measured it and left a couple-inch overhang, which is what you want to do. It's not rocket science. Just cut it off and get it in there.
Find the middle. Set this in. You want it to sit on the bottom. Just going to use some clothespins. And this fabric closes right around itself, so I don't need to. And we're done. Dump your soil in. You don't want much. So on this, my soil level is literally about right here right now. What you want to do with potatoes is start low and go high. So as the potato grows, I am going to add more soil to it. You only want to keep a couple of inches of the potato plant above the ground at any given time. So continue to add soil till it gets to the top. When it gets to the top, this is going to be filled with potatoes. The potatoes develop and grow as the plant grows up. So if we start low and go high, theoretically this should be filled with potatoes when it's time to harvest. And I've got two varieties. I'm going to do russets in this one, and then I'm going to do some red potatoes in this one. When you are starting with your potatoes, you want a very dried out potato. If the skin is not dried out on this potato when you put it in the ground, it's going to rot. That's why it's very important that the skin be completely dried out like that on your potatoes before you plant them. Let's get these in our containers. I'm really excited to see how this worked. I've seen several videos. I have read up on several people doing this, and the yield that they got was incredible, and I'm truly hoping for the same. Potato. Make a nice little hole. See, I'm just leaving a tiny bit. Put another one over here. Again, just gonna let a tiny bit of that pop through the top, not much, it's gonna grow. Here we have it. 3 potato plants, and as it grows, I'm gonna continue to add soil. Hopefully we will get all the way to the top, which is a good almost 2 feet more to go, and this should be filled with potatoes. What a great, ingenious way to grow them. I'm very excited for this. All right, let me get that one going exact same way. This one's got 4. Now we're just gonna add some water. Are you one of those people that saves, toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls for crafts for the kids or for yourself so that you can do things with them? Because if you are and you want a garden, then boy, have I got a use for you. And this is like super easy to do. All right, first you take your paper towel holder and you cut it to like a 3-inch long piece. And then along one end, you want to make all kinds of little cuts, the same depth per se, all the way around it. And then you just start folding them. It will create a flat bottom like so. You now have an adorable little container that you can put your soil in and start your seeds in, and this entire thing is 100% completely biodegradable. So when you plant your seeds in these and they start growing and it's time to put them in the ground, you just dig your hole and you put this whole thing in the ground, and the cardboard will actually break down and become beneficial for the plant as it grows. Like, how ingenious is that? I really do hope that you guys will give this a try this year and just see how easy and how little space it really takes. Even if you don't want to venture into the hampers and do the potatoes, which I just have to tell you, like, that is a really, really good thing. I am telling you, you will get a lot of potatoes out of that hamper if you start low, build high, and then harvest. There's something quite fulfilling about digging up your meal and going and making it, or coming out here and picking that cucumber, harvesting those greens for that absolute farm to table fresh meal. I can't do it on a large scale, but I can definitely do it on a seasonal scale, and so can you. That's what this is all about. I don't know everything about gardens. I barely know what I'm doing with the garden, but I know that I don't need much space to have a container garden. How about that, huh? You don't need much space at all, so there's really no excuses. None. Zip zero for the excuses. Ingenious. And I don't know, have you ever seen this before? I feel like if I thought of it, somebody else had to have. That is just the logic here, because I am in no way, shape, or form the gardening Einstein. So I feel like if I could think of this, somebody else has too. But what a great way to reuse what you have.
They also had these mini packs of the 3 towers. They came 3 to a pack for $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. And this is a game changer in the world of container gardening, especially if you really don't have space to put anything. This literally takes up about 6-7 inches in a square footprint on your countertop. You can have fresh herbs growing right at your fingertips. You need to run and get them before these are sold out. Scott put his engineering degree to good use and came up with a way to stabilize these stacking pots from the Dollar Tree so that they will have some support and not topple over with the wind. He's adding some drainage holes to each section, but he's also drilling out the middle of each section because he created this rod that he welded onto a small metal plate that you see there, and that was attached to a bigger piece of plywood. So all he has to do is drop these down over the top and they lock into place. The wind isn't going to knock this over. Nothing is going to knock this over. My strawberries will go really good in here, and I don't have to worry about the towers themselves being tipped over because they are very cheesy and flimsy. They don't lock, there's no weight to them. They need this rod up the middle, and this is actually really perfect. I am stoked to put this to good use, and I cannot wait to fill this one with strawberries as well. Oh my lord, this is gonna be good. Well, if you made it this far, guys, I want to thank you for spending the weekend with me as I showed you how I was going to get my container garden ready for the 2023 growing season. I showed you a very unique way to expand on that garden without really changing much of the footprint at all, but it really makes a significant difference in the world of container gardening. I am also going to be adding a whole bunch more containers and pots to the ground area. I have bush beans and pepper plants and carrots that need to go in, but I am off to a really good start. I have a lot of seeds ready to go. All of my jalapeno peppers are ready to go. I got some sweet peppers ready to go, a bunch of lettuce. My cucumbers are in, carrots are started. So I'm off to a good start, but I still have more to do. And I really hope this has inspired you guys to get out there and get your own container garden going, even if it's literally just an herbs on your countertop using those adorable little miniature ones Dollar Tree has. Run, do not walk there. Those are going to sell out. I'll promise you that. But it just makes having your own fresh herbs so easy. And you don't need any really special kind of equipment. I'm using cat litter boxes and they are absolutely perfect. Those buckets work so good and I can grow so many different things in them and not use up all that much space. So I really hope you'll try your hand at gardening this year and let me know in the comments below. Do you contain a garden already, or do you have a nice big garden? Is it something you've always wanted to try, or do you have a raging green thumb? Because I'll be honest, I'm just learning as I go. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I hope you'll consider doing so. I do share videos every week. It's kind of on a sporadic schedule at the moment. So if you hit that notification bell, you will always be notified when I upload new content and you will never miss a beat. I love doing all things homemaking inside and outdoors, and I make a lot of mistakes along the way, but I learn and I learn from those mistakes. And I love having you guys along with me on this crazy ride called life. So, once again, thank you so much for hanging with me as we got our container gardens ready for 2023. And I cannot wait to hear all about yours in the comments below. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.